Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Find yourself looking for a new job or change in career? Monster.com is here to help. We are not only here to bring you job postings, but also AI interview prep and salary tools, expert career advice, and top-notch resume services. We've got everything you need to land your perfect job fit. Discover the magic of finding the ideal job with Monster.com. Your future starts now. Visit Monster.com today. Your next job opportunity is just a click away.
Flannel shirts, rugged boots, hot cocoa, and crackling campfires. All things that evoke the warmth of cozy gatherings and the thrill of outdoor adventures. Since 1912, one brand has become synonymous with the freedom of the great wild yonder. With clothing and footwear that can take you from bison hunting in Maine to babe hunting on Main Street. This brand's commitment to old-fashioned values keeps its customers coming back year after year. And with annual revenue soaring towards $2 billion, this privately owned family-run juggernaut is more than just a brand. It's a way of life. So whether you're angling for a trout or angling for a date, firing a rifle or firing an employee, scaling a mountain or descaling a coffee machine, this brand has you covered. And that's why this week's On Brand is on LL Bean.
You're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I am Jon.
I'm Marisa.
Okay. So I figured it out about halfway through.
Did you really?
I did, yeah.
Oh.
I was like, it's either LL Bean or Land's End. And I don't know if Land's End is still around, but I feel like those were kind of in the same vein. Are you familiar with Land's End?
Oh, sure. I'm thinking of a big flannel and with a little white turtleneck underneath.
Yeah. They're all flannelly, turtlenecky, like I'm going to fire an employee or fire off my pistol.
That's right. Now you're getting it. We're having fun.
All right, so I want to throw this out before we get into the show. So
Sure.
This episode comes out on November 7th. We don't normally do this. We're usually recording 4 days before the show comes out.
That's true.
It is October 10th. And by the time this episode comes out, the election will be over. I will have attended the Days of Our Lives, Days of Days event. The Chicken Big Mac will be a memory of the past. So I know people are like, why aren't they talking about these things? It's because they haven't happened in our world yet.
Sure. So stay tuned to the Instagram where I'm sure you're going to be giving updates on the Chicken Big Mac.
Yes.
What's a Chicken Big Mac?
What's a Chicken Big Mac? It is something I've literally been waiting for years.
What do you mean?
They simply replace your beef patties with two specially made giant chicken nugget patties. No, not the McChicken patty.
Okay.
A completely new Big Mac. It's called the Big Mac Chicken Patty.
What makes it different?
It's a chicken sandwich instead of a beef sandwich.
Okay.
It's basically, you know the song, right?
To all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles,
on a sesame
mustard?
seed bun. Mustard.
Onions.
God, yeah, there are onions, but no mustard. But now just replace that song with chicken.
Sure.
And
to all beef chickens.
No. You're going to want to get rid of beef. Two very beefy chickens. But yeah, it's been in China. It's been all over the world. I've read about it. I've looked at pictures of it. I've seen people smiling and eating it. It arrived
You
here.
look at pictures of it?
Yeah.
Like often?
That's why when I posted it on our story today, I put the Cure song Pictures of You. Because I literally look at pictures of it.
You laying in bed, 3 a.m., fully dressed. Watching I Love Lucy, staring at a picture of a McChicken.
Like one stream of drool runs down my cheek, and I'm like, wow, I'm actually salivating.
Oh, wow, that's fun.
It came out in America today. I've already talked to one of our freaks. He saw it on our story. We had already jabbed about it a couple weeks ago because we knew it was coming. He saw it on our story literally within 15 minutes, was like, sent me a picture of his online order. He like ran to McDonald's and got it.
You haven't had it yet?
I haven't had a chance.
What are you waiting for?
I mean, I had to come here. We're recording.
Wow.
But
priorities.
We'll talk all about it in a month.
I guess so. When Al Pal is back from climbing to Mount Everest Base Camp.
I can't believe you're going to climb Mount Everest Base Camp. That's fun. Listen, I probably couldn't even drive to Mount Everest. I'm so scared of like driving up mountains now. So whatever you're doing over on that mountain's impressive. And
what country do you think it's in?
Oh, no. No, don't do that. What country? You know, because you've talked to Al about it. Had you not, I guarantee you would not.
I wouldn't even be able to name what continent. Really? I mean, can you name what continent?
Yeah, of course.
What?
One of the 7. There's 7, right?
Yes.
No, I'm not. I do not do well at geography.
We're not geo gals. That's a different pod on your own time.
That's a very different pod. That's like two. Wait, what's happening? Why the boys are laughing?
What's happening? Wait, what?
What's happening?
What happened?
What happened?
I just said, I whispered into the Apple TV, rock docs. And it populated dogs.
And no listings.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Your account has been flagged.
Now we're going to get beeped for dogs.
They don't know what we're saying. It could be dogs, dogs, dogs.
Dog, there's your movie. That is not a movie Matt Damon would star in.
No, certainly not. John L.L. Bean.
L.L. Bean. Wait, we're jumping right in. You don't even want to ask me about how
what's going on?
You have no interest in how Hamilton was?
Wait, what?
You have no interest in how Hamilton was.
You saw Hamilton?
Last night. I saw Hamilton last night. You're not even going to ask about that?
You've seen Hamilton before, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you say it was boring?
Listen. No. Okay. So I went to Hamilton in 2019, and I like to, you know me, I'm very weird about new like music or anything like that. I want to go in fresh.
Yeah.
So I didn't listen. I know, like, I had a boss who would like sing Hamilton. Everyone's all into Hamilton.
Sure.
But I didn't want to listen to it before we went. So I went in fresh.
Raw dog.
I couldn't understand 80% of what was happening. Like, it's like, one, it's almost like Shakespeare. So they're already talking weird.
Yeah.
1,000 people are singing together. There's music swelling over everything. It's rap.
You watch everything with subtitles.
I watch
already.
I had forgotten when I saw it the first time. I was thinking it last night. I was like, if this thing had subtitles, I'm all in. There should be like one of those red scrolling screens at the bottom of the stage.
Like on the New York Stock Exchange.
Exactly. Yeah. I need a ticker. thing. But so it was very challenging the first time.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been like wanting that feel of the human spirit. So I was like, and I didn't know Hamilton was in town. It's been in town since September. It's closing this weekend.
I don't think I knew either.
Who did? It's Hamilton. It's like so like 2017. But I was like, you know, maybe I'll go to Hamilton if I can find a cheap ticket. So I kept looking at tickets. They were over $100. I wasn't going in for that much. I looked yesterday out of nowhere, like an orchestra seat popped up for $49.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? This is my sign. I need to experience this again.
Ticket for one?
Ticket for one.
Whoa.
One sad little seat. Though I ended up sitting next to another guy named John who used to be in Hamilton. So I had a lovely conversation with him. He knew a bunch of the people in the cast. I explained to him my issues with it. Here's the thing. Since 2019, how many times have I listened to Hamilton to prepare for this one? None.
Oh, boy.
Not one.
Did you tell the man who was in the cast of Hamilton your idea for the ticker that has the subtitles?
I did. I absolutely did. He finally just gave me like Cliff's Notes straight intermission. He's like, okay, so these people hit, like, this is what's going here. Like, again, I understood about 80% of it. And like, what's so frustrating is I'm trying so hard. And then like all of a sudden the whole audience will just laugh. And I'm like, like I have no idea what the joke was. Like, how does everyone hear it but me?
That is why you knew you wanted to see Hamilton, but you didn't want to prepare or listen to the
Well, I think I feel like I decided too late to prepare. It's like, what am I going to do? Listen to Hamilton all day, memorize it, then go. It's a 2-hour and 45-minute show.
Well, what'd you think? Second viewing?
The exact same thing.
No.
It was like, And I'm sure in like 2 years, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to do it this time.
I'll catch you on the third one. I'll go with you.
I'm going to go see Hamilton tonight. But it's great. It's like the people are great. It's like, I don't know if it's moving. I don't like cry. But, and then that king.
You don't, babe, but you cry at In-N-Out Animal style. You cry at everything.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I knew what was going on, I might cry. I don't cry. But that king, man, every time you see that king and they do their own little thing with it, man, every one I've seen is so good. This guy was so good.
Yeah, that kind of like Dandy King.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he
that's
comes
fun.
out like 3 times during the show, and he's got his fun. Like, he's really like a nice comic relief. Like, it's a break from just, it is a wall of rap and music, which is great, wonderful. I support it, but that's how Hamilton was.
Good human spirit, though.
It was.
Sure.
I do love, I mean, there's so many people in that show. At the end, like the entire stage, it's like 70 people taking a bow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe we should try to put up a Hamilton.
We should be performing to a sold-out crowd at the Pantages. That's for damn sure.
You know, it does make me, I know not everyone on the Freaks don't know my complete past. They think they know a lot of it, but there's
Does anybody really know?
There's a lot of holes. I do have a theater
There
past.
is a lot of holes.
Wow.
Let's just say if we're talking about John's past, holes are a theme.
Wow. I don't even know what that means. But sure, I try to be an enigma. Wait, where was I even going with that?
You have a theater past.
Oh, right. So I have a theater past. So it did make me miss, I did like doing shows.
Yeah.
Like, you and I met doing improv.
We met on the stage.
We grew up on the stage, basically.
Sure.
In our mid to late 20s, early 20s, whatever. So yeah, it's always nostalgic, and
Yeah,
you're
that
kind of
sounds
like,
fun.
I could do that, or like you kind of.
You saw Hamilton, you're like, number 1, not impressed. Number 2, what are you talking about? Number 3, I could do that.
No, yeah, I could definitely play Hamilton, the lead.
Sure.
No.
If you had enough time to rehearse Dancing with the Stars style.
Yeah. So LL Bean, how do we get here? We're still in the middle of fall. You're feeling cozy.
Sure. We're solidly in November at the time of this episode's release. And it's just, it feels like crunchy leaves under your feet. You're lining up your shot to take out a deer right between the eyes. I didn't know how much it was like a hunty brand. Hunty. I didn't know how hey hunty it was until I started researching it. And I am not a hunty. I'm a hunty, but I'm not a hunty. You know what I mean?
You quit saying hunty. I'm not a hunty, but I'm a hunty, but I'm not a hunty. No,
Yeah.
I'm not even a hunty, I don't think. I don't wear flannel.
No.
I really don't, no.
I've seen you in a sweater, a little cardigan.
Yeah, I've worn a sweater.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
think
not
that counts.
I'm not like, I like the idea of fall, and I like the idea of I love the idea of the catalog autumn. The perfect companion, the hot chocolate with the mound of as much whipped cream as Skyline puts cheese, like just overflowing, the fireplace, 2 kids, a cute dog.
The golden retriever on your lap.
I don't know about a golden retriever.
What dog would you have?
I mean, I like them. They're always...
It's like the catalog fall dog.
I know.
What dog do you want?
Kind of 90s. Like, I don't know. I like the little mustachy dogs, like the little Fraser, like the Jack Terrier little...
Sure,
yeah.
Yeah, the little, that could be a hunting dog, hunting for something.
They have like those wiry hairs. But, still, we get whatever dog we want. But I like that part of it, but I never live it. I feel like it comes and goes so fast.
I know.
I mean, we're talking about LL Bean. I'm still sweating. It's still like 88 degrees outside. Like, it's like all the ruse. It's like Days of Our Lives. They shoot their Christmas episodes in like June.
Yeah.
So it's like they're all sweating, drinking cocoa.
That is the LA experience, is you try to force down a boiling hot pumpkin spice latte. It's 110 degrees. It's just like, it's a little bit miserable. But the catalog ideal of fall is just so heavenly.
Yeah.
And LL Bean just completely captures that.
Yes.
Have you ever bought any LL Bean?
I haven't. I did used to work at Pottery Barn, and I feel like back in the day that was also the same vibe.
Sure.
Like those catalogs were one of my biggest regrets, and I know you're going to be like, this is one of your biggest regrets. Of course, it's not.
Nothing you say will shock me.
Was I collected my Pottery Barn catalogs for like 20 years. And I was like, this is going to be such a great archive of what like furnishings were like for such a long time. And in 2014, as you know, I had like a purge and I cleaned out a lot of stuff. And I tossed those and I was so proud of myself at the time, but I kind of regret it because like I like the idea of looking back at like,
what were throw pillow styles in 1998?
Yeah, I do. Like, I really wish I could do that. But it was also, I bring that up because I feel like it was also the same kind of like, Pottery Barn was kind of like whoever was looking at the Pottery Barn catalog was wearing the LL Bean clothes. They kind of went hand in hand.
And it was the heyday of the catalog. It was like the catalog era, which is a bygone era, which I am deeply saddened by on a near daily basis to say farewell to the catalog.
I still will. I just had to cancel one this week. I canceled Vanity Fair this week because on occasion you'll get like an offer. Like I think I got like 2 years of Vanity Fair for $9.99. I'm like,
it'll be they'll get you there like it's literally 99 cents, and then they're like if you want to renew, it's $850.
100%.
It's like
and I got that thing this was like a couple weeks ago. It was like just so you know, if you don't say anything in the next 2 weeks, $80 shall be ours.
Yes.
And I look over and I see all 24 issues of Vanity Fair. None of them have been cracked open.
Spines pristine.
It's like Natalie Portman, who you're still relevant. I don't know.
The cast of Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah. I just don't know when I'm going to get to them. Again, I love it in theory.
Yeah.
I love so many things in theory. I'm so bad at executing.
You're very theoretical. You're like Einstein, the theory of relativity.
Thank you.
Well, you know me. I love nothing more than a thin glossy paper between my pointer and thumb.
What? That's how you talk about reading?
Yes, my AARP comes in the mail. You know, I'm so excited.
You know what I did just to subscribe to because I don't get it was the Zingerman's mail order catalog.
Fantastic.
I mean,
publication.
Between that and Trader Joe's's
Fearless Flyer.
Yes, it's like I can read those on the toilet all day.
I see those being elevated to the status of like fine art.
Yeah.
As we're coming to this era of like AI, everything's so generic, everything's so stupid and the same. The Zingerman's catalog, it's like people will uncover that in the rubble of like civilization and think that this was like the greatest art that was ever made.
I'm sure you remember in the last couple of years, Trader Joe's had announced they were going to stop the Fearless Flyer.
Yeah,
and
online
it was
only.
Such an uproar. They're like, whoa, okay, we'll keep it.
Online only, just like it sends a chill down my spine. I hate those two words.
There's no worse two words in the world than online only.
I agree. Oh, everything moving in the wrong direction. Yeah, so LL Bean to me, it's just like so cozy. It's like of the season, and I hope while you're listening to this, you're in a pickup truck, in the back of a pickup truck with a big cozy throw with your lover by your side and a Jack Russell Terrier on one side and a golden retriever on the other. You have a big...
I still had to get the golden retriever.
Yeah, you have to get both. A mug of hot cocoa the whipped cream is just spilling down on your knuckles, making them all sticky and stinky.
It's so tall. I'm trying to balance it. We're on this bouncy truck and it's like going everywhere. The dogs are licking
Scalding
it up.
your lap.
Now, LL Bean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you'll get to it. I'm going to guess their hottest item in the 1980s was the duck boot. Is this the duck boot company?
It is the duck boot
Okay,
company.
I'll let you bring me there.
The duck boot is huge. If you don't know what the duck boot is, it's like half rubber, half canvas. It's a boot. It's their most iconic product, and I'll get into it when I get into the story. Are you ready to go on the ride?
I think I am.
Okay, hop on your tractor ride on your hay bale. Grab a pumpkin under one arm and an apple under the other.
Not your scarf.
Oh, speaking of, remember how I said in an episode that it's my mission is to make apple cider donuts?
Yeah.
So I have 2 things coming in the mail from King Arthur Flour, a place I have visited in person in Vermont. I have boiled cider, which is apple cider that has been reduced down so like concentrated, and you use that in apple cider donuts. And I have a very fancy apple butter. So we're going beyond Smucker's, a very fancy apple butter. Total for these 2 items, hubby, cover your ears.
Let me guess. With shipping, total for these 2 items, $26.
$39.70.
Oh my God.
I mean, is there anything more painful than having to pay for shipping in like this day and age? It's not even like you can get a minimum, I don't think, unless you spend like $750 on like an espresso machine. I'm getting 2 things and I can't even get free shipping. Shipping is $10. Ugh, kill me. But they'll be great. Great donuts.
That'll be exciting. We'll tell you how they are in 1 minute. After Al finishes climbing Mount Everest.
Space camp. What are you going to do with our break, by the way?
Well, we're going to have some serious meetings about the Patreon. We're going to really grind that out and figure out what that's going to be. Hopefully coming late 2024, early 2025. Sure. And I've already started working on my November shows.
Of course.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
LL Bean. Let's get into it. Leon, are you ready for this?
Leon Leroy Beanman.
You'll never guess. Leon Wood Bean.
Oh. Okay. So that's where the L... but you're like, but that's Bean. Not why they named it LL Bean. It was actually after.
His last name, I think, at some point was originally it was like Linwood, but then it became like Leon Wood, and then Bean is, it's you know how names changed back in the day. Leon Leonwood Bean was born in the town of Greenwood, Maine on October 13th, 1872. He is one of 6 sons.
There was always a lot of kids back then.
There were a lot of kids. John, you may have noticed a picture behind you. It looked very spooky for Halloween. That is a picture of LL Bean as a baby. That is not Halloween decor, even though it looks very much like it. This is a very scary photo of LL Bean.
No, do you have this up every Halloween, or is this special for the pod?
This is custom for the pod, but I think it might have to be part of the regular rotation.
I mean, it's a great picture. It's very haunting. Mm-hmm. This is like one of those pictures where you find out, like, this is what they did when a baby died. They would have one last portrait with its mother.
Yeah, or they, pasted him out of, a pile of mayonnaise and potatoes.
He looks like a grump, I gotta say. I hope he grows up to be a little happier.
I will tell you, he is a contender for our hottest founder.
Whoa.
Let me show you a picture.
Oh, I'm already looking at one.
I'm going to show you a picture. You can weigh in just because it helps to know if he's hot for the storytelling. Okay, I'm showing this picture to John.
Yeah, I would say he's Dysonable, he's dateable, he's everything I'd be looking for in a bean. Please tell me. I hope that your story starts with him going out with pockets full of beans that he's selling to the neighborhood. If it doesn't start with that, I don't even want to know the origin.
Well, he started out selling newspaper subscriptions when he was 9 years old to help support his family. His parents tragically died 4 days apart when he was 12 years old.
Of what?
I don't know.
4 days apart?
4 days apart when he was 12. Him and his 5 brothers were sent to live with relatives in South Paris, Maine. And Maine, to me, feels like an iconic, fall cozy place.
Definitely.
So it feels like it really sets the scene for, the crackling leaves and the duck boots. Mm-hmm. So Bean, he has a really strong work ethic, despite dropping out of school in 8th grade. And when he was 14, he sold deer to hunters who were unsuccessful, like deers that he hunted. He worked at various farms. He sold soap. He worked in a creamery. Like you.
What?
Didn't you work in a creamery your first few jobs?
Well, I worked at a yogurt store and an ice cream shop. We didn't call it a creamery, but I thought you were making a sex joke.
Oh,
yes.
Well, that too. You first worked in creameries, and then you worked in creameries.
Okay, there it goes.
And a clothing store. And then he married his wife, Bertha, in 1898. They moved to Freeport, Maine, which was Bertha's hometown, where he worked in his brother's store selling dry goods.
So you've got your flour, you've got staples.
Oats,
things in barrels.
things that are not wet.
Right. Dry.
No orange juice.
No grapes. They're tricky grapes because you think, this is a dry good.
Dry.
And then, nope.
Nope.
Good.
So this is now 1911. Bean is an avid hunter. He's a fisherman. One hunting trip in particular, he returns home with cold.
Feet.
Wet.
Feet.
Feet.
I knew it, man.
and he is struck with a revolutionary idea. He begins designing a boot that was based on the comfort and flexibility of a leather upper and the durability of a rubber-soled work boot, aimed to keep his feet warm and dry. He went to Mr. and Mrs. Ted Goldrup, the local cobbler, with this idea for the first Maine hunting shoe. So this was the shoe you're thinking of, the duck boot. Mm-hmm. He says, I took a pair of snow rubbers from the stock on the shelves and had the shoemaker cut out a pair of size 7 tops. The local cobbler stitched the whole thing together, and he sold a pair to a man named Edgar Conant, who was his first customer. And Bean was proud of his boot. It was a good boot.
Yeah.
So he set up shop in his brother's basement, and he had his first stroke of marketing genius. He gathered all the names and addresses of non-Maine resident hunting license holders. His thinking was these people are more likely to be novices because they don't live in Maine, and they might need expert advice. So he sent them a flyer with an ad for the Maine hunting shoe. This is his ad. Outside of your gun, nothing is so important to your outfit as your footwear. You cannot expect success hunting deer or moose if your feet are not properly dressed. The Maine hunting shoe is designed by a hunter who has tramped the Maine woods for the past 18 years. They are light as a pair of moccasins with the protection of heavy hunting boots. Would you be sold?
I mean, absolutely.
As a hunting novice?
Did he not call them duck boots? Is that something that came later?
They weren't called duck boots, Maine hunting shoes.
Maine hunting shoes.
He felt so confident in his boots that he offered a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which got him quite a bit of publicity at the time, because you remember in like the early 1900s, all food was rats, so everything was poison. You remember, it was just it was a dicey time.
Right.
So for somebody to be making 100% satisfaction guarantee, that got quite a bit of attention.
Yeah.
Good news, he quickly sold 100 pair of boots. Bad news, 90 got returned.
No, for what reason?
So one by one, people started sending back their Maine hunting shoes. They got busted up because the single line stitching was too easily tore the rubber and the leather apart. So it was just one single line of stitching. So he was happy to give this refund because he's collecting like valuable data as to how to make the best boot possible. So he's keeping his word. He refunds those early customers. He borrows money from his family to fix the design flaw. And he switches to a triple stitch, which the boots still have today and is a trademark of LL Bean boots. And the stitchers at LL Bean are trained for 26 weeks to master the technique.
So they learn how to do one stitch every 8 weeks?
Yes.
Wow. There's a job. So was the one stitch, do you know if the one stitch thing was the original cobbler's design, or is that something that he just did on his own?
It's the cobbler probably thought that would be sufficient because nobody's made a boot like this in the past. Nobody's made like a Frankenstein hybrid of a rubber and a leather.
This is giving Doc Martin vibes.
Yeah, it is.
Like cobbling together things to make this new iconic footwear.
Exactly.
And just because now all of our shows are kind of blending in timeline-wise, I love that while he's out hunting, someone in his family is probably sitting at home writing burpee about how much they love
they love the lettuce.
Yeah.
I just ate a BLT with iceberg lettuce, and I gotta say,
crunch, crunch. Buy my husband's new boots. Quack, quack. And Burpee's like, what?
And then 5 years later, they're like, have you heard of these new boots? Quack, quack. So the focus on service and quality, supported by the money-back guarantee, it becomes the backbone of the LL Bean Company. So the company standing by their word, this is creating a lot of word of mouth about the company, that they kept their word on the refunds, and the products everyone's getting are just such good quality. So with every order, Bean slipped in a brochure filled with all these folksy pitches he'd written for his growing lineup of products. You can tell by that, what I read previously from the ad, that he has kind of a folksy way of talking that makes it feel like you're getting advice not from a salesperson, but it's kind of a quirky family member who's just kind of an expert and wants to bestow their knowledge on you, which really connected with people. So in addition to reliable products, LL Bean got a boost from the expanding U.S. Postal Service, which started its parcel service in the early 1900s.
We talked about this in Burpee. This was the same thing. That's the whole thing about the letters.
It's so fun. So by 1917, he had sold enough of his boots to buy a dedicated building for his shop on the main street of Freeport, Maine, as well as a factory and a shipment center over the town's post office. So with the help of one of his other brothers, Guy, who was the local postmaster, he built a system of chutes and elevators that quickly routed order slips and packages downstairs to the post office. All these deliveries sped across the Northeast, throughout the country, and the name LL Bean became synonymous with outdoor adventure. He also benefited from the growing number of car owners, many of whom were driving up to Maine for fishing trips and family outings. They'd make a special stop at the LL Bean showroom, which was right next to the factory, and LL was usually there, who was so excited to like get everybody all geared up for their big adventure.
So is he only selling shoes at this point, or is he expanded? Is he selling other stuff?
So this is still really early. It's mostly just like footwear at this time.
Okay.
He hasn't expanded like the product line. That's going to come a little later. Like 1924, you get a Field Co., which was like, if you saw it, it looks like something you would buy at like J. Crew today. It's like very classic.
I'm picturing like shearling. Is that shearling interior?
It's that kind of like duck cloth, which is like that kind of wax canvasy kind of
Bro,
quack,
what is
quack,
this
right?
guy's obsession with ducks?
Well, it's a duck hunting coat. He started to get endorsements, which helped fuel the growth of the company, like the Macmillan Arctic Expedition of 1925. And so the explorers who came back, they said that like these boots like kept everybody's feet warm and dry, even in the Arctic, which is a pretty good endorsement. Yeah. Celebrities like boxer Jack Dempsey, Babe Ruth were frequent customers. LL Bean had fans in Franklin Roosevelt, John Wayne, Ernest Hemingway. So it's starting to get kind of like a little bit of a celebrity following at this point.
That's fun.
1927, this is cute. LL Bean's catalog is judged best in the country.
That
Isn't
is
cute?
How many catalogs? There's like 3. There's Burpee.
Probably Sears.
Sears.
Uh-huh.
God, a Sears catalog. Oh
my
God. Like an
God.
early Sears catalog. Big as a phone book.
The pictures are the size of a postage stamp.
The size of a postage stamp. And talk about that is a library I wish I had. Because you look at the old ones and they're selling chickens. They're selling livestock. You look in the 80s, they've got Star Wars toys. I mean, over the years, they sold everything imaginable. And for Christmas, we would we would have the Sears catalog. We'd go through it. We would circle everything we wanted Santa to bring us.
I'm sure they're on eBay.
I mean, you're encouraging me to start a Sears catalog library.
Yeah, I actually, I mean, surely you have that much room in your storage unit.
I'm going to need a bigger unit.
You are. You need that Patreon money. So for their first place, judge number 1 by Postage Magazine. There was a magazine called Postage Magazine, and LL Bean catalog won first place.
Okay.
They were awarded $25, which would be $433 today.
What a simple, not that exciting event. Is this on like the company's like official timeline?
Yeah, they're pretty proud of it. So now this is 1927, and the catalog, it started as just this little 4-page flyer. It grew into a 51-page guide. At this point now, yes, it has clothing, shoes, sporting goods, home furnishings. It's showing the products, and it's also kind of introducing the personality, LL Bean himself, to the customer. And his attitude is kind of like, it's no longer necessary for you to experiment with dozens of flies to determine the few that will catch fish. He wrote in this 1927 catalog. We've done that experimenting for you. So it's like friendly, helpful, kind of quirky. And the catalogs made people feel like they were buying from like a trusted friend. Customer loyalty kept LL Bean thriving through the Depression.
Wow.
This may be the first company that we've encountered that had a boom during the Great Depression. By 1937, the company had reached more than $1 million in annual sales, which is near $18 million today.
Wow.
I know,
that
right?
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Though I do feel like AMC did, or the movie theaters did well during that time too, because people still treated themselves. And
maybe people were kind of thinking, buy something that's quality and then it will last a little longer.
Yeah.
But you know what? They just don't make things like they used to.
I don't know if I agree with that completely. I think they do. I think it's just so cost prohibitive. Like, it's so expensive now. Like, really good quality.
Your oven, your range is how old? Isn't it like a vintage oven?
It is.
Yeah, so it's probably like from the...
I just don't remember ever talking about my oven. This is the first time you've brought it up.
Oh, you mean on pod or in life?
In life.
No, I know what kind of oven you have. You have like a vintage little oven.
You've only been to my house like twice.
Babe, I know what kind of oven you have.
It's cute. It's old. I would say it's, I don't know, 100 years old.
That's what I mean. It's 100 years old. So I had to replace my oven after like 6 years. And the guy who came to like potentially repair it was like, yeah, this is kind of how long they last now. They last like 6 or 7 years.
I think the only reason I was pushing back is because for some reason in my TikTok, I have been getting so many Hermes like videos, like people that buy Hermes Birkins and purses. And I've seen like how they're made and the quality of them. And I'm like, man, those are like such a quality product. But they also cost like $40,000 for a purse.
If you buy a $40,000 purse, it You would hope it would be good quality.
Yeah. But so I was just saying, like, across the board, that's why I was saying it was cost prohibitive.
It's
but yes,
possible.
I do think a
yes.
lot of things now, like televisions are the same. Like, they want you to have to replace them.
Yeah, that's a really annoying. And even like shoes, like, people who have their LL Bean shoes, they like go down generations and generations. Like, people have them for years.
Can we talk about shoes real quick?
Sure.
Camper. That's a brand that I used to love so.
Used to? Whoa.
I had so many pairs of camper shoes, and it was one of those things. I randomly bought a pair of camper shoes at the thrift store right by your house, out of the closet, for $9, and I fell in love with them, and I had never heard of them. Cut to 8 years later, I've spent $2,000 on 20 pairs of camper shoes. They're an expensive brand, but I really love them.
Yeah.
I'm very brand loyal. And then I noticed that they would say on them, like, sole guaranteed for 2 years, and I was like, what a weird thing to say.
2 years.
2 years. And then I had a pair that had been in my closet for a while. I hadn't worn them. I wore them to work. And it had obviously been over 2 years. They had orange soles, and I saw a little piece of orange on the ground. I'm like, what's that? And it's like a chunk of my sole. By the end of the day, I'm wearing moccasins because the entire sole had like crumbled off.
In one day?
Yes, because they had just dried out. And they just
Oh.
knew that after a couple of years, they wouldn't last anymore.
Wow.
So I just stopped buying that brand altogether. Like,
Wait, you're done buying campers?
I haven't bought campers in forever. Wow. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow, you know what I see? Opportunity for Crocs to slip right in.
I'm not buying Crocs, and I'm not buying duck shoes. I've been wearing a lot of Converse. I'm back to Converse.
Okay, yeah, that's a brand we've covered. Yeah, definitely listen to that episode if you haven't.
I mean, tried and true, and they're like still like $35 when they're on sale.
I know.
And
It's
they just
crazy.
look great with everything.
You're right. You have a hot pink pair.
I have a hot pink pair, I have a yellow pair, I have Andy Warhol pairs. I've got Converse coming out of my ears.
1942. LL travels to Washington, where he advises military leaders on cold weather outfits for troops. They make special boots custom for the war. Pretty cool.
What was special about them? They shot bullet. They had like little things like.
They play the national anthem when you squeeze the tongue.
I like that they don't help you win the war at all. They just
No.
make you feel patriotic.
If you see somebody with like a stellar rendition of the national anthem, do you get moved?
I stop and listen to the whole thing.
It's a hell of a song.
It's a hard song. I mean, no one ever is going to do it for me better than Whitney Houston, I don't think. I can watch that every single time. Like, it's so good.
So good.
And she's wearing like that track outfit, and like, I think there's jets at the end of it. It's just so good. But anyone that can pull it off, man, give me a J Hud, give me a Kelly Clarkson.
Hell yeah.
I watched a little, like a...
Only American Idol finalist.
Yeah, I pretty much only listen to
Justin Guarini, Ruben Studdard,
Clay Aiken. Who else? That's when I stopped watching. I didn't even know people from the first 4 seasons. But I saw like a kid like 15 sing it last week, and he was fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's future Clay Aikens out there.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
1951, they opened their ladies department. Okay, give the ladies a little fun at the Bean.
Now, let me guess. They're the ones that started calling them duck boots.
That is cute. So the women's showroom opened after LL's daughter-in-law, Hazel, and his wife, Claire, convinced LL that women needed something to do while their husbands shopped for tackle. And it's not a bad idea.
What is the idea?
Just like, something to do. Like Anthropology, how it's filled with couches for like boys to sit on their phones and while their girlfriends shop.
Can we talk about... Sorry, I keep doing these
Yeah,
asides.
no, I love
know
an
we're not
aside.
supposed to go off topic, but...
Supposed to, sorry.
Anthropology. Have you been there lately?
Yeah, I remember I used my birthday. I went on my birthday,
Right,
on my
you didn't
actual
get-
birthday, and they were like, you need the code.
You didn't get the code. I did look in my email, and I had gotten an email with the code. But I went there. I stopped in there like a couple of weeks ago. The home stuff is down to like 4% of the store. Like that whole back area is all closed.
Yeah.
I hate it when those stores do that. Like, because that's all I go for. Obviously, I'm not looking for a sundress, but I love looking at like all the like cute little
Sure.
Parisian whatevers, bits and bobs, and it's almost all gone.
They seem to be going through a change because I asked them if they had any like shoes or purses. They were like, no, we have some online. It's just like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going
You know
on?
who else went through it was Urban Outfitters, and those are the same company.
That's right.
Urban Outfitters used to have very fun
home stuff.
Like it was kind of dormy.
You know where it is? Online only.
Well, and there was also, they opened like a Urban Outfitters like home store in Hollywood. I don't know if it survived.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely
Not
not.
through COVID.
So for years, the company had sales growth of 25% and higher. And then in 1960, LL Bean hits a snag. So the competition is starting to catch up to LL Bean's pricing, their product quality, their expansion of retail stores across the country has a more hands-on buying experience for the customers, but they're just having a hard time keeping up with the same growth that they had before. Bean at the time is approaching 90 years old, and he's still running the company. He's a little bit behind on the times.
It'd be nice if, since you have this picture of him at 5 days old, that you had a picture of him at 90 also.
He's a little behind on the times for the manufacturing, the marketing. The factory in Freeport was apparently very inefficiently run. It was an aging part-time workforce, so he had all of his old-timey friends.
He had a hard time speaking. He had gotten to the point where he's just drooling, going quack, quack.
He is becoming a duck.
He becomes a duck.
He's becoming.
I gotta get to when these start being called duck boots. I hope this is in there.
And this is in an era when print and TV ads are rapidly evolving, and he can no longer rely on the folksy appeal and good old-fashioned values. It's just not enough anymore to move product.
Right.
He stays on at the company until his death in 1967 at the age of 94.
Good for him.
Sure.
Man, going from selling newspapers your entire almost a century in the fashion business.
And he didn't start the company until he was 40.
Oh, okay.
So good for him.
Good for him. Started late and lasted late.
That's right. At that time, Gorman, who was a Bowdoin graduate and a naval reservist, who being hired in 1961 as a treasurer, he took over, becoming only the second person to lead the business, which at this point is more than 50 years old. So the company then, with this new era, catches up with the times. Gorman increased LL Bean's advertising budget, make the pricing more competitive, streamline the factory, expand the retail locations. But it kept the original DNA, what people associated with LL Bean and what they would be disappointed to see gone, like the customer service, the satisfaction guarantee, the quality of the product.
And where are we at with product line at this point? Are they just full on everything?
They're full on everything. This is the 60s. Is that what I said? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have their bags, their carriers. And if you look at a list of LL Bean items, there's probably things that you didn't even know that they were LL Bean items, but they're just iconic, classic, American garments. They have a sweater from 1965. It's called the Norwegian sweater. I'll show you a picture of it. It's just a classic looking sweater that could be at J. Crew today, and it would not be out of place at all.
Yeah.
So they have all their classic staples. So this new leader, he keeps the catalog, he keeps the Freeport store, which has a giant statue of his most famous Maine hunting shoe out front, which is the size 451, which is very cute.
That's fun.
A gigantic shoe. Speaking of the Freeport store,
yeah.
And if any of our freaks have ever been, I'd be curious to hear what it's like. Since 1951, the store has stayed open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Why?
Bean claimed even that they threw away the keys. This was after years of waking up before dawn because there were all these early bird hunters and fishermen who had come before the sun came up to get their gear for their expedition. There was a sign above the doorbell that said, "Ring once a minute until a clerk appears."
Oh, boy.
Which is very cute. I imagine there's just a clerk with an old-fashioned sleeping hat, sleeping under his desk in the back.
Can I just tell you, in Cincinnati, we had a chain of restaurants, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Perkins.
No.
And it was kind of like a Denny's or like a dinery kind of place. It was the big hangout when I was in college. After you go to the clubs or a concert, you go to Perkins, we get fries with a side of mayonnaise. Well, they're big.
Mayonnaise.
It was great.
Side of mayonnaise.
It was awesome. So one of their big things for a long time was the same thing. We never close. They were so confident that they never close. And someone's going to have to, from Ohio, is going to have to help me with this story a little bit. But they didn't put locks on the doors. They're we don't even need locks.
Wow.
But then something really bad happened where they needed to be able to lock this door and they weren't able to.
Sure.
And I thought that was really funny.
And was the place ransacked for mayonnaise?
Yes.
All the teens were free mayonnaise, hopping on the counters, chugging mayonnaise.
You've never had fries with mayonnaise?
No, mayonnaise. I've never had fries with mayonnaise.
You've never had fries with mayonnaise?
I'm not even a sliver interested.
In college? That's
for you, somebody who can't even have room temperature to warm ketchup.
Ugh.
The fact that you can dip a fry in mayonnaise,
cold mayonnaise,
is beyond outrageous.
Delicious.
So the Freeport store has remained open every single day since 1951.
Let's go. Let's take a picture in that big shoe.
We have to go, with one exception. February 5th, 1967, which was the day of LL Bean's funeral.
Aww.
And after his death, the company received over 50,000 letters of condolences.
That's the only day they closed. They didn't close for the Challenger explosion, for 9/11, for
the trout waits for nobody.
the COVID.
The moose, they gone be hunting.
Wow. I love the idea of us all going on vacation together, and it's a split screen of Alistair climbing to the top of Mount Everest Base Camp, and I'm just climbing that big shoe at LL Bean.
And then leaving without buying anything.
Yeah, try to get a free sample.
In 1984, the Freeport store, it gets a significant remodel. They add a 25,000 square foot extension that includes an indoor trout pond that is stocked with trout.
Oh.
Isn't that cute?
I guess. I guess that's cute.
When you're in a store like a Nordstrom's, are you ever like, it's nice in here?
Not
you know what I wish it
enough
had?
fish.
A lot of trout.
Well, I could use more trout.
Yeah, we always need more trout.
Yeah.
By 1990, LL Bean sponsored the Everest Peace Climb, Al Everest, a symbolic event showcasing international cooperation. Al, in case you missed the part earlier, Al is going to be hiking to Mount Everest Base Camp.
And we're making fun of him. I think that's a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, he's
I think people die doing that.
going to be very tired.
I would be one of the people, like, you know how there's like a million dead people on like in Mount Everest? They
Your
just leave them
frozen
there?
body would be like at the airport.
Yeah, I was going to say the parking lot of the airport's even better.
Yeah, the airport.
I'm just frozen at the Starbucks at the airport. Drank too many fraps.
Then in 2001, Chris McCormick becomes the first non-family member to lead the company. To be a son of a bean. Wow, these kids did really, really good.
Son of a bean. There's
Son
your movie.
of a bean.
Matt Damon is a duck shoe.
Because it was always, it was like the son, the great-grandson. It was just really a family affair. And then Chris McCormick came in. He had a pivotal role in launching the LL Bean's international business. Now they're in Canada, establishing the online presence. February 26, 2024, LL Bean makes a significant transition.
What year?
2024, this year, baby.
This year? We're already at this year?
Discontinuing mail orders.
Oh.
The business model is now entirely online.
Online only?
And telephone.
Telephone? Telephone should go before catalog.
Nope.
Beep, boop, 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 beep. LL Bean, how can I help you?
Have you ever ordered something from QVC where you call in?
No, but I worked for Macy's.
Oh.
On the other end of it, where people would call in. Like, it was one of the jobs. I had like 3 jobs to save up money to move out to LA. And one of them was for this place in Mason, Ohio that it was like a catalog company. So you were technically I was working for like 8 catalogs. So every number would come to you and it would tell you which catalog they were calling for. It was either Macy's or Bloomingdale's or whatever.
Oh, how
and they'd be like,
funny.
I'm interested in blah, blah, blah. And I'd have to like quickly flip through the catalog.
And you'd be like, so what color trousers do you want? We have them in emerald and plum. Oh, sorry. I just found out the plum sold out. We have emerald.
Unless do you think you get in an extra small? It doesn't sound like it from your voice, but I don't want to assume. So that was my catalog experience. And then sometimes with my friends at Avatar Joke, we went to the mall once, and I don't know if all the Macy's are still like this, but we went to the one in Manhattan Beach, and you could not find an employee to save your life. And it was during the holidays, and the phone just kept ringing. So I started to answer. I was like, happy holidays for Macy's. How can I direct your call? And my friends were peeing their pants.
What did people say?
I don't even remember because
Oh
I was
my
laughing
God.
so hard. Or like, how can we keep you warm here at Macy's? Happy holidays.
I have had only dystopian experiences in Macy's in the past, 10 years. Nothing positive is happening in a Macy's.
It's funny you say that because I have too, and we've talked about it in Glendale. You go in there and it looks like a war has happened.
Ransacked.
I went in and bought some socks last week at the Glendale Galleria. It was beautiful.
Whoa.
I told the woman, I was like, has something happened? I was like, everything is where it should be. It's clean.
I love that. That's like beautiful. Everything is where it should be and it's clean. And it's like, you're in hog heaven.
I felt like, I mean, it felt so weird, but it was really nice.
What'd she say? Is there like a new mandate?
She made it seem like it was because it was a weekday and you just don't come on the weekends. And I'm like, and she's like, in the holidays, it gets really bad. And I didn't want to like talk about it too much, but it was always like, I mean, and I can't even describe, like it was literally just piles and piles of clothes. Like when we did our one photo shoot and I had to go find a sweater, like the cashmere sweaters even, sorry, I'm not bragging. They were on sale for like $80, but I was looking for the cashmere sweaters and it was like, I felt like I was at a thrift store. It was like digging through garbage of cashmere garbage.
You should at least feel guilty, like tossing cashmere onto like a disgusting Macy's floor. But no, there's no guilt there. There's no shame.
Yeah, run over there this week. Maybe you'll have a nice experience.
Honestly, I would love that. So over the years, LL Bean's reputation for quality and customer care, it's just grown exponentially. Their customer base is extremely loyal. I think their brand identity is really solid. They just have an amazing reputation. I went to the LL Bean Facebook page, and typically if you go to any brand's Facebook page, it'll be like, wishing you a cozy fall. And then underneath is like, I ordered this sweater and I put it in the washing machine and it shrunk 2 sizes. Like it's just all complaints in all the comments.
And if it's not that, it'll be like, hope you're having a great 4th of July. And you'll look and it'll be like posted July 2001.
Yes. No, the LL Bean Facebook page is popping and everybody there is in a really good mood. They're really grateful. They love LL Bean. They say like, I bought these boots, 60 years ago. They still like are in such great shape and they post pictures. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these boots do look amazing. They do look like they're in great shape. So I think their customers are really, really happy.
Well, that's good.
Here's a quote from Sean Gorman. So he took over the company. He's the LL Bean chairman and great-grandson of LL. He says, my great-grandfather, LL, was a practical man, an avid hunter and fisherman, and everything he created, he did to make the outdoors more enjoyable for fellow outdoorsmen. What he didn't know is that his innovations would create the outdoor legacy that has become LL Bean. The Maine hunting shoe was the start of it all. To this day, we're proud that Bean boots are made by hand by our dedicated stitchers in Maine, just like the original, and that handmade quality is part of the magic of the LL Bean boot. It's just gorgeous. This is everything you want from a company.
So are they never called duck boots?
Not officially, no.
That's just like a thing that we say?
Not officially on any of their documentation.
It's not like the Duck Boot 5?
They kind of look like duck feet, but it's not officially on any of their materials.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, this joke is way past, but earlier when you're like, when he came back from hunting and he had cold, wet feet, I was hoping you were going to say he had taken a duck for a lover. And that's how the whole boot came to be.
So you think it was that the boot is actually a love child of man and duck?
Yeah, like he just really admired his lover's feet.
It could be, yeah.
Designed a boot after it.
A little bit of a Skyline chili incident.
Okay, no, we're not doing that again.
I have a quiz.
Okay.
A fun game.
Okay, I can't wait. I love a quiz.
This is called LL Bean and Bean's Quiz.
Okay.
Question number 1. The LL Bean duffel debuted in 1934, featuring this breakthrough device. A. Hook and eye closure. B. Zipper. C. Pinto bean.
Pinto bean, eh? I mean, I'm leaning towards C. But that seems too obvious. They invented it?
This featured this breakthrough technology, this breakthrough device, the 1934 duffel.
I'll say zipper.
Zipper is right.
Okay. That was a hard one. Question
number 2.
You know what made it hard?
What?
Pinto beans.
Well, it is the LL Bean and Beans quiz.
Yeah, that's why I got confused.
Question number 2. Which classic LL Bean item is a durable, versatile bag, perfect for carrying groceries or beach gear? A. Boat and tote bag. B. 3-bean salad. C. Waterproof backpack.
Oh, boy.
This is tough. I didn't say it would be easy.
Now, I think they say if you don't know the answer, you should always go with B. So I'm leaning towards 3-bean salad. Oh. I don't know. Something's pulling me to 1A. I'm going to go with the boat and tote.
You are right. The boat and tote bag.
Wow. I'm blowing my own mind.
It's their most iconic tote. In 1933, Eleanor Roosevelt made a surprise visit to the Freeport store, and L.L. Bean gifted her a bowl of chili, B, trout knife, C, pair of snowshoes.
Oh, man. Now, listen, I have done a lot of presidential history, and I know that she loved chili. So that does make sense to me. I don't think she would like a knife. I'm going to go ahead and say C, a pair of boots.
You were wrong. It was a trout knife.
No, it was? Yes. Oh, I never fail quizzes. What are they giving her a knife? Now she's got to like gut a fish.
I guess
they just like push her in the pond.
So she could get her lunch.
Wow.
The 1960s brought many new products, including A, fishing lures, B, duck decoys, C, hummus.
F it, I'm hummus.
The answer is A, fishing lures.
Oh, God.
Duck decoys actually debuted earlier.
In hindsight, that makes so much more sense.
Duck decoys were actually introduced in 1941 because one of the employees, a clerk, said he could whittle a better looking bunch of decoys than that mess we're currently using. Whoa. And so he started whittling decoys to sell.
Okay. My mom is a fan of wooden ducks.
Oh.
She has several.
Cute.
Yeah.
Number 5, the iconic Norwegian sweater is inspired by A, fishermen who require unusual durability and warmth. B, shepherds who use natural dyes for their wool.
No.
C, black-eyed peas, which are actually beans.
Oh, they're really beans, huh? Now, I have black-eyed peas. Okay, do you want to hear it? I've never told anyone this story.
What?
My black-eyed peas story.
What?
So it was a tradition from my grandmother that you always had black-eyed peas on New Year's Day.
Yeah, I've heard you say that,
and it was good luck. So I always tried to do that. And one year I forgot to get them. I would always forget to buy them until like the week before, and then they're all sold out because other people get them too. It's the hardest time to buy black-eyed peas is the end of December. So one year, I don't know, late like 2009-ish, I went out that night and I went out on like New Year's and was headed home, and it was almost midnight. And I was like, I never had my black-eyed peas. I went into Ralph's, found a can. And I'm not even kidding. It was down to like, when I was in Ralph's, it was like 11:58. And I was like, I have to eat these or I will have a bad year.
Okay.
Found a can of black-eyed peas, found a can opener, opened the can.
In the grocery store?
In the grocery store. Ate the beans out of the can, put the can back on the shelf, and strutted out like, okay, we're going to have a good year. Didn't buy the beans.
Oh my God.
It was chaotic. Now, seeing both of your faces, this is why I've never told this story, but there you go.
Sir, officers are on their way. This is beyond.
Another hole has been filled.
Was it a good year?
They never are. They never are. And so
what streak are you trying to keep?
I don't exactly. But I feel it was like, I love my grandma so much. I just like feel like I have to do it.
Yeah. Did you do it this year?
I do it every year.
Okay.
Not that chaotically.
That was wild.
I kind of forgot about it until you said black-eyed peas. Oh, I never answered. I'm going to go with the first one, A.
You're right. Fishermen who require unusual durability and warmth.
Yeah.
Number 6, last question. What type of bean is commonly used in chili and has a distinct red color? A, black bean. B, kidney bean. C, garbanzo bean.
Oh, has a red color. I feel like it's black bean. I feel like it's black bean.
Go with your gut. Would you like to phone a friend? How out of date is it to make a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire reference?
I'm going to have to go with B.
You are right. Kidney bean. Well, you got all of them right except for one. Well done.
Giving her a knife.
Yeah, Eleanor Roosevelt did get a knife from L.L. Bean's store.
Fun
well
quiz.
done.
Thank you very much.
So, John, after the journey we've been on tonight with L.L. Bean, the cozy road we've taken in the back of the pickup truck with the Jack Russell Terrier, the Golden Retriever, the mug of hot cocoa, your lover, the flannels, the campfire, the s'mores, all of it. I have to ask, is L.L. Bean on brand for you?
So, I mean, I'll just say it is. Like, I won't keep you in suspense. It is. But it's not an easy yes, because I gotta say, before you were doing it. I didn't even know that it was still around.
Oh, really?
To be truthful.
Wow.
I don't feel like I ever come across it in like postings, or it hasn't entered my Facebook feed, or I don't see a lot of advertising for it. That being said, I appreciate a legacy brand. I appreciate humble beginnings. I mean, people that lose their parents and go on to create $1 billion fashion brand. What's not to be on brand with for that? Do I love having a koi pond in my office?
It's
No.
trout.
A trout pond in my office? Not my favorite thing. But okay, that's you. I don't love the giant boot outside, but I get it. Like, that's your thing. So, yeah, I will say it's on brand because I like the idea behind the company. So I'll say it's on brand for me. I'll throw it back to you. You've researched it. You've learned about it. Is LL Bean on brand for you?
As somebody who has spent close to $40 on apple butter and boiled apple cider, it would be very off-brand for me to snub LL Bean. Clearly, my heart is in the orchard. It's in the pumpkin patch. It's not with the rifle in my hand or the fly fishing rod in my other. And I don't relate to that part of it.
But before you finish, do you own anything by LL Bean?
I have a boat and tote bag that I received as a gift.
Okay.
And after doing this research, I need LL Bean in my life.
Okay.
It's the one thing that is missing.
Okay.
I love the sweaters. I love the jackets. I love the boots. I'm ready to commit to my perfect fall fantasy.
I could see you in a pair of those duck boots. Those seem like
Yeah.
that's very you.
On a rainy day.
Treat yourself.
Gotten a moose.
Post this on their socials. Maybe they'll throw you a pair for free.
I would love that.
Yeah.
LL Bean, reach out.
Just reach out. All right. Well, very nice job. Very interesting legacy brand. Love learning about it.
Here's a challenge that LL Bean casts out to the world for World Mental Health Day, which I believe is today.
What? The same day that the Chicken Big Mac came out? That is not a coincidence.
LL Bean is challenging you to spend 20 minutes outside every day from October 10th to October 31st so you can experience just how beneficial nature can be for your mental health and well-being. To assume that everybody has such easy access to nature, or that being outside will lift your spirits. I mean, you might not live in LA. You might need to be in Maine to get that benefit.
I'll do that on Halloween. I'll spend 10 minutes outside on Halloween night.
Get hit with an egg.
Yeah.
Get your mailbox smashed.
Well, that's nice that they're trying.
Yes, it's very sweet. We love LL Bean, and I'll do anything for them.
They have good intentions.
Absolutely. And I want to give a shout out to Larry Manitou, who left us a review on Apple Podcasts in a previous episode, but it was his suggestion to do LL Bean, and he is from Maine. So this is a special episode for you, Mr. Manitou.
That's fun. A fan brand. I love doing a fan brand.
Yeah, you only get the special fan brand designation if you send us a care package full of goodies, which anyone is welcome to do at any point.
It's been a while since anyone has sent us anything.
I would love
No, it
to
hasn't.
see the
Aaron
box
sent us
come in
that
the
big
mail.
box 2 weeks ago with so much stuff in it. It was so nice. Well, awesome. So as we've mentioned over and over, we're a little off on a wonky schedule right now. So I'm not doing a shout out for our Insta eggs because they haven't happened yet. I don't even know what the LL Bean Insta egg is going to be, or the episode before this. So we will get back to that starting next week. I think you have some shout outs from Apple.
So I'll give some shout outs to some folks who left us lovely reviews on Apple Podcasts. Orville Louise says we saved their Crocs.
What?
Do you remember in the Crocs episode, the secret tip to shrink a pair of Crocs?
Of course I do. I gave it.
Orville says that they had the most perfect pair of Crocs, except that the right one was about half an inch larger than the left. Couldn't stop noticing it while wearing them. Happy to report on this joyous day, each now fits like a dream. Nearly moved to tears. 5 stars forever. Wow. So if you haven't listened to that Croc episode, go back and give that a listen. Tiffy Kato says, so much fun. Usually doesn't rate or review anything, especially because it doesn't have an Apple product, but downloaded iTunes on their computer just to leave a review for these 2 and 3 Hey Al, hilarious hosts. So if you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do. It means so much to us, and we screen cap them and send them to each other, and it makes our day. And if you haven't already checked us out on Instagram, go to @OnBrandThePod or on TikTok @OnBrandThePodcast. You can see clips of the show. You can chat with us there, see little images from the brand we talked about. And we love to talk to you guys. So if you have a brand you want us to cover or any thoughts on LL Bean, please, we are all ears.
I really do love talking to anyone on our social media. If you reach out, more than likely, I will talk your ear off. So if you're not ready to have a long conversation, maybe don't, but please do, because I like it.
Just leave an Apple review if you don't want to talk to Jon.
Yeah.
We will be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we'll always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.